like running is a thing. You might see me out there at Hillsborough Street, pounding the pavement. No, just kidding. Just in that way I've been doing for years. Our next speaker is truly going to be a delight. She is an absolute one of a kind. I think online I described her as a half cartoon and half superhero. She is, of all the women on the program tonight, she's the one woman I get to see the most. She's a good friend. We live fairly close to each other. She's got several amazing stories, generally stays really, really positive, and I like that about her. And she made the dress I have on. So with a really endearing and heartwarming and probably really funny story, please welcome my dear friend Allison Dahle.
Hey, Allison.
Hey! Can't see anybody. So, oh God, I hate these things. My name is Allison Dahle, and I'm going to tell you my love story. One thing you need to know about me is that I live and look at life through rose-colored glasses. According to my wife, I have 14 pairs. This is a very important piece of the story that I will come back to later. In the early part of 2003, I had some really bad dates. However, that was to change in September, That was to change in September of 2003. This was the time I was introduced to the internet and Plan It Out. Okay, so I knew about the internet, but not Plan It Out. I discovered Plan It Out, and the fact there was online dating on the website. I signed up and started looking at the profiles. All the folks saying wonderful things about themselves. I myself have done my best to look as wonderful as possible in these profiles. I read lots of profiles. And as I was reading, I noticed a common thread. They all went to the gym, or ran marathons, or just went willy-nilly and exercised just for fun. Online, it appeared that the entire gay world was a healthy bunch. I mean, I had been on the track team. In high school, I threw shot put, I threw discus. I did not mind a walk or even a slow jog, but I really did not go in search of exercise. Since I had met quite a fair few lesbians, say that 50 times, in my life, I knew that they were not all at the gym. So, imagine my joy when I read a particularly good profile. And the real clincher for me was under exercise it read, I don't run unless the house is on fire or I'm out of half and half. I knew that was the fat ass for me. I answered the profile and we emailed back and forth once or twice. And then Lou, my wife, said, I don't like this email stuff. Give me a ring if you want. So one night during a rainstorm, the power was out and there was really nothing more I could do to procrastinate. So I gathered all my guts and called Lou. We exchanged pleasantries and then she asked me if I had any trees down. She then proceeded to tell me about her new hatchet. I was not aware, but one should have a hatchet in their house. I told her I was sorry I had no trees down, and then her roommate called her and she had to go. She called back the next day and we planned to meet up at Cup of Joe on Hillsborough Street. We had so much in common. We talked for 4 hours. And I want you to know we both had outs and we didn't have to use them. I didn't find out about that until later. I was smitten. When we walked out that night, I thought a little goodnight peck might be in order. However, before I got close, Lou said, if you want to go to a movie or something, just give us a ring. And off she darted. So I did give her a ring. We either went to a movie or she came over. I really don't remember. I do remember that she opened the car door for me and we had a great time. I remember when she came to eat, she liked the horde of dogs that I had with me at the time. And on one of those occasions, she left roses for me on the front porch the day after. So we started dating and then progressed to living together. No, it wasn't on the third date. Don't believe everything you hear. As I was in love, it never occurred to me or even to think about immigration. I did not know that she was in the country on a tourist visa, nor did that matter. We went on living our lives together, and every year she would go back to England and renew her visa and stay there for about 2 weeks. I even went with her one time. Now, back in America, Lou spent holidays, dinner, and any other times in between with me and my family. She was a part of the family. However, we were at a crossroads. My mother, the grand matriarch, wanted Lou here legally and to stay. We needed to figure out a way to keep Lou here for good. The fastest way to immigrate was to get married. However, for us, that was against the law. We went to see an immigration lawyer just to make sure. And we wanted to make sure we didn't skip something. So school was the only legal option available. So off to England Lou went. She got her student visa. She ended up having to stay in England for 3 months. It was a long haul. The only silver lining was that she got a job in a pub. The dogs and I missed her terribly. I was able to see her once during this time, and we had a lovely time. After I saw her in England, I knew we were doing the right thing. She was the one. Lou got her student visa and came back to start her associate's degree at Wake Tech. I was so proud of her. She really worked hard, and once she finished her degree, she got a job at Time Warner Cable. I love them. She worked for 12 months with a 17-month extension. Life was good. It was wonderful. We were living life and loving it with 2 incomes. We were able to afford to live a bit, but that was not going to last. At the end of the allotted work period, Time Warner Cable did everything they could to keep her working, but the U.S. government's immigration program had other plans. This was a tough transition. You see, now we had a person who loved to work going to school, and a person who wanted to go to school working. It was a pretty miserable time. We were at our lowest, or so I thought, but I still had my 14 pairs of rose-colored glasses on. I still had hope. You see, somewhere in the midst of all of this, Queen Elizabeth had announced that gay marriage would become legal in Great Britain. I, of course, knew that we were not far away, and we weren't. You see, Lou was finishing up school, and she would be graduated and able to get a job because we were going to go get married. But the people on Jones Street had another idea. Amendment 1. Amendment 1 would not succeed. We would get Lou back to work and here permanently, and we would be together for the rest of our lives, and finally we could marry. I never believed in a million years that my state would vote to uphold an amendment, a clear form of discrimination in the progressive South. No, that would never happen. We started working to defeat Amendment 1. Then the day the vote came, I had lots of hope. I just knew no one in their right mind would vote for something as dumb as Amendment 1. But the time came. We lost the fight. And all my rose-colored glasses fell to the floor and crashed in a million pieces. I was out. I had no replacement pairs left. This was the saddest time I can remember. I had lost hope. My state did not like nor respect me, And the people whom I met in the street, the majority of them didn't believe my love was important or real. I just didn't get it. After that, Lou signed up for graduate school. And again, that was the only way to keep her here. A friend of mine even asked if Lou was going to end up to be Dr. Pounder before she could ever come here to stay. And then the unbelievable happened. The federal Supreme Court said we could get married. We were people. We were people again. We were validated. We had value as a loving couple and as people. We were married in Baltimore on July 20th, 2013. That is right, isn't it? We met on the 21st. We got married on the 20th. It gets very confusing, these numbers. The road was hard and the emotions ran high. There were times when I was not sure that our relationship would take the pressure. This love story does have a happy ending. Just last week, Lou got her permanent resident card. This means she's in the U.S. permanently. And this week, she applied for her citizenship to become a voting, tax-paying citizen of the United States of America. This was a long road, 10 years to be exact. It was 10 years of heartache, disappointment, and fear. Those 10 years of fighting have made us stronger. They have made me stronger. But they have taken away some of my pairs of rose-colored glasses. I will never again have 14 pairs. I have been able to find 9 pairs so far. And when HB 2 is repealed, I just couldn't come up here and tell y'all a story without a little politics. If you know my mother, you know that the Dahles will go and vote no matter what. We could be dead, and we'd still rise from the dead, go vote, and come back to the coffin. That's right. So I have been able to find 9 pairs so far. And when HB 2 is repealed, I might find 1 more pair of rose-colored glasses. I may even be able to get all 14 back, or find more. If we can learn to treat people as people, and learn to respect others, whether we agree with them or not. We are all humans, and whether we disagree or agree, we all deserve respect. So this is one thing that my wife can't do right now, which is vote. So I'm going to ask all of you. I ask you to do your civic duty and vote for the persons of your choice. But please remember, we are the progressive South, not the regressive South.